The first thing I want to talk about today is analyzing your traffic data. Now, since my site is a fairly new website, I don't have a lot of traffic information to go on at this point. So I'm actually going to be showing you guys data from another Amazon site of mine. But this same type of information will apply to any given site that you build. There's kind of three things that I focus on dealing with analyzing my traffic data for one of these websites. The first one is the geolocations of my visitors. The second one is behavior flow, which is what people are actually doing on my website. The pages that they visit, the pages that they enter my website on, and the pages that they leave my website on. And finally, search analytics. What's going on with search engines? Where is my website ranking? What keywords is it ranking for? And what pages are people landing on my website after they are searching for these different keyword phrases? I'm initially looking at this information to try to help me make better decisions with what I should do on my actual website. Should I leave it as it is? Should I go into particular pages and add or remove content? Should I build completely new pages on the website? Now I want to go and actually show you this stuff in person here. So I'm going to pull up Google Analytics for you for one of my Amazon sites. This site is actually from Amazon Masterclass 1. This is downcomforterguide.com. Over the course of a month, it gets about 6,500 page views and about 2,000 or so unique visitors. So the site does pretty good overall, but no matter how good or bad a site is doing, there's really always going to be more that you could probably be doing to it. It's just a question of whether it's going to be worth your time to actually do that work on the site, to make improvements to it, or whether your time would be better spent just simply building another site. Obviously, in this current state, this site gets plenty of traffic and it refers Amazon sales. So left alone, it's still a successful website. The question is whether it's worth my effort to actually go back into this site to make some additional changes to it or not. Now, one of the first things that I like to look at are the locations of my visitors, where people actually live that are actually visiting my website. To find this information, I go into Audience, Geo, and Location. And this is going to give me a breakdown of the traffic for my website. Now you get a little graphical display up above where the darker colored countries are going to be the countries where you have more traffic from. And then as the colors get lighter, you have less traffic from those countries. Now, as an Amazon affiliate, the reason why this page should be important to you is because your ability to refer sales on Amazon.com products may be limited to specific countries. There are also additional Amazon websites. Amazon Canada, Amazon UK, for example, tons of European, a couple of Asian ones as well that are available. So when you have visitors that are coming from additional countries besides the US, it might be worthwhile to try to target them. How you would actually go about doing this is in my product style plugin. if you go to the settings page of this plugin, you're going to see all these different Amazon sites that are listed, and the countries that are out next to them are my recommended countries for the ones that should actually be targeted to this particular Amazon site. Certain products on certain Amazon sites are going to be strictly limited to the countries that are in this list, whereas there are other products that can be shipped out of the country, but in a lot of cases it's more expensive for the consumer to actually buy that product and to get it shipped to them. So targeting the relevant Amazon website for your visitors can go a long way there. So just as an example, if I look at the data for my site, I see that Canada ranks with about 9% of my overall traffic. Other countries that are ranking fairly high, Russia's got about 6%, and the UK has about 4.5%. Now, these are the number of people essentially visiting my site on a monthly basis from these additional countries. So if I wanted to go in and enable one of these countries in product style, I would simply set up an Amazon affiliate account for those additional websites, provide my affiliate information in here, so I could put in my Amazon Canada information and my Amazon UK information right here, and then activate these sites by changing the drop-down box. Now, even though I have some traffic from some of these other countries that actually show up on this list, like Germany right here, I do have Germany traffic, and I also have something like a little bit of Italy traffic, which is also an Amazon site. But personally, from the list that I'm seeing here, I really wouldn't want to go through the trouble of activating anything more than Canada and UK, simply because 29 people visiting my site every month from Germany, that's not a lot of people. That's only one person per day on average. And the chances of that one person per day actually buying something is pretty slim. So the effort that it takes to get this additional account set up for Amazon Germany and to then actually verify that your products are working in those different locales, that's the extra effort that you need to make sure is actually worth your time to do. So target your more popular countries once you have some traffic data, and just ignore the other ones. Let all them get targeted to Amazon.com, which is what will happen by default. So if I was going to add in Amazon Canada and Amazon UK, once I provide my affiliate information here, I would then save this information, go down below here where it says Admin Country Override, enable the admin country testing, and then set my Amazon site to one of the new sites that I had just selected. Once you save those changes, simply revisit your live website and test all of the Amazon ads on your site to make sure that they land on a functioning Amazon page. Some niches will work in this manner, where when I switch it to Amazon Canada or Amazon UK, I would still end up with the same product on those locales under the same ASIN. But there are going to be some niches where this will not work at all. So unless you have an overwhelming amount of traffic, and I don't even consider Canada here to be an overwhelming amount of traffic. It's only 9% of my total traffic. This 9%, I'd really want it to be more like 20 or 30% to actually put the time into setting up those additional locales if those products were not working correctly. So if I put in Amazon Canada, I go down here and I test Amazon Canada, then I go to my live website, try out all of my Amazon links. If they're working, that's great. I can leave it alone. If they're not working though, if it's simply saying that a product can't be found for some of those links, then I would want to disable it and actually not worry about that locale. The only exception to that, again, being if I had a large percentage of traffic that was coming from that country. Then what you can actually do is go into your ads page here, edit one of your advertisements, and you can specify an alternate product. However, you would still need to set up your ads for that product. So, for example, I would come to the Auto Amazon page. I change my Amazon site to one of the other sites that I have activated. So I would change this to Canada. I would find a replacement product for the one that wasn't working, create an ad for it, then go back into the ads section and you can edit the ad that wasn't working. All the way down at the bottom, you have advanced country control. So I could go to Canada here and I could find a different product that I created an ad for on my site. So I create an ad for a Canada product now and set that as the replacement for that country. Again, this is something you would only have to do if you tried testing the links on your site in another locale and those links did not work. Then you would have to find a replacement product. So you can see how this manual searching and finding a replacement product for potentially all the different things that you're promoting on your site, you can see how this would be fairly time consuming to do if you actually had to do the manual search and replace. So again, that is why I would only worry about doing this on countries where you have a decent amount of traffic present for them. Now, beyond making sure that I'm actually targeting ads to the people that are visiting my site, one of the other things that I worry about is what people are actually doing on my website. To find that out, I go down to behavior. And there's actually a couple of different areas here where you can look at data having to do with what people are actually taking action on your website. One of them is the behavior flow page. Under behavior, go to behavior flow, and you reach a page like you see here. Well, up in the top, you have this drop-down box with different aspects that you can essentially use to show you information here. One of the ones that I like to use the most is the landing page. This shows you where people come into your website at, and then the path that they actually take through various pages of your site. So for example, my IKEA page on this Down Comforter website is my most popular page. If I click on this, I can go to view only this segment, and it'll drop everything else and just show me what is happening when people show up on my IKEA page. So this can be really, really useful to you as an Amazon affiliate because of the way you have your website set up. You might be wanting traffic to proceed from one page to another page on your website. The best example of this would be your informational content pages, the pages where you're more likely to get search rankings on those pages. So that's where your traffic would enter your website at. But then to actually earn a commission, you would need people to go from that info content page to your product page of your site, and then to proceed from the product page out to the Amazon link. So this whole landing page and behavior flow area, you can go in and examine your info pages and find out how many people are actually making it along to your next step, which would be your product page. For this particular site though, my landing page actually is my product page. So I'm not trying to really send people along from this page to another page of my site. You can see that out of 1,400 people or so that land on that page, I really only get about 38 people that then proceed on to another page of my website. But in this case, I'm okay with that because this is one of the pages that I want people to get to. I want them to be clicking on one of my Amazon ads on this IKEA page. So to see a natural large amount of drop-offs from this transition is actually what I want to be seeing on this page. But if I was looking at one of my info pages, I would want that traffic, a lot of it, to be making it onto my product page to give me a potential for making those sales. If you find that a lot of your informational content pages lose their traffic and are not able to send that traffic along to one of your product pages, this can tell you the exact pages that is occurring on, and then you can go and revisit those pages on your website and try to figure out why. Maybe the link isn't easily seen. Maybe the text that you're using on the link isn't appealing enough to make people want to click on it. You might simply need to put these links in a more prevalent position where they can be more easily seen to make it more natural for people to want to proceed on to the next page. This is something that you kind of have to diagnose and fix on a case-by-case basis, though. There's no set rules really that I can give you for trying to correct pages like this when you see an obvious drop-off of traffic that you don't want to be happening. However, simply having access to this data makes you aware of what is going on your site, and then you can focus your energy on fixing the problems and not worrying about the things that are working correct on your site. Now, in addition to the behavior flow, I also have this site content area where I have landing pages, exit pages, and all pages. Any three of these sections are also good areas to look at. The all pages section, for example, tells me what my most popular pages are on my entire website. So I can see immediately IKEA is definitely the #1 page on my site. My home page is the #2, buying guide is #3, and so on and so forth. By knowing what your more popular pages are on your site, you again know where to put your focus and your effort on. It really wouldn't be worthwhile for me if I extend this list here and show my least popular pages. These are searches. These are not actually pages. This right here would be my least popular page. My hypoallergenic page had 10 views and I think 4 unique page views here over the course of the last month. So I would not want to put a lot of effort and focus into building up this particular page because it's obviously not performing very well. Sure, I could try to build it up and I could try to get it ranking to make it perform better, but chances are the work that I would have to put in to making that page actually perform well would likely outweigh the benefits that come from it. However, if you're targeting your more popular pages of your site, especially if this traffic is coming in from a search engine, by making minor additions and changes to some of these pages, you can actually have a pretty drastic increase in traffic. This IKEA page did not always get thousands of page views every month. This is something that I identified as one of the more powerful pages of this website, and I have built it up to enhance the traffic that I am getting to. So I'm now getting search traffic from tons of different keyword phrases, all pointing back to just this one IKEA page. And again, this was all done after the fact of building the website and not in my first initial construction run. Now the landing and the exit pages areas here. This can be helpful to tell you where people are entering your site, and again, where people are leaving your website at, to make sure that your site is functioning as it is intended to. For example, if I look at my exit pages here, what I would be looking for on this exit pages list is an info page on my site that is not succeeding in transferring a decent amount of traffic along to my product pages. So for example, right here, I see Fill Power. Fill Power is another one of my info pages on my site. Out of all the info pages on my site, it has the most exit traffic. It has 100 people that are leaving that page each month and not proceeding on to additional pages of my site, which are going to be my product pages. So if there was an info page that I wanted to investigate and try to make sure that it was actually working as intended, maybe figure out where the links are on that page, change around their positions, make them a little more visible, I should be able to reduce my number of exits on this info page and get more of this traffic moving along to my product pages. Now this also kind of connects to the next part that I want to talk about, which is your search engine optimization. Under acquisition, you have this search engine optimization dropdown along with a couple different links to go along with it. The queries and the landing pages are the two that I pay attention to the most. On the queries page here, I get to find out what keywords are actually being used on Google to find my page. But in addition to showing me the people that are successfully reaching my page, I also get an indication of people that are not successfully reaching my page, where somebody goes to Google, they type in a search term, my page is in the search results that people are seeing, but they're not clicking on my listing. They're clicking on other listings that are in those 10 results instead. This is really, really important because if you're already getting a search ranking, but you're not getting clicks from it, chances are all you really have to do is make a couple of text adjustments to maybe the title of the page or the description of the page. And you can easily then attract some of that traffic to start clicking on your search result. So this queries page not only tells you where your traffic is coming from, but it also tells you where your traffic is not coming from, so you can try to take steps to actually start getting traffic from those locations. For example here, this is a fairly new one that has shown up for my site. It is showing me as having an average ranking of 9.3. So this will be on the first page for the term twin size mattress. It says I'm getting 700 impressions a month from that search term. So 700 times a month, my website and this page is showing up on this search ranking. But nobody's actually clicking on it. So this would definitely be a page that I would want to go and investigate. Change the title, look at my description in the SEO settings box, your meta description. This information can be what people are seeing on Google. It can also be helpful to go to Google itself and to try to find your search listing to see what people actually see for that search result. So you know exactly what you need to try to change to make it say something different, to make it more enticing for people to click on. My main recommendation with using this queries page is to again figure out what the more popular pages of your website are, both in current traffic and also in potential traffic. So my current traffic would be where I'm actually getting clicks from, and then my potential traffic being impressions, where my ranking, my listing is actually showing, but people are not clicking on it. One other thing to point out here, you have this secondary dimension dropdown. There's a lot of different areas of Google Analytics that actually offer more data than it might initially be displaying to you. And a lot of times you'll see it in this format of primary and secondary dimensions. This actually allows you to set different data, I guess, to be shown to you on these pages. And one of these, the Google property for the secondary dimension, is something that I find to be pretty important to use, because otherwise these queries can actually end up being a little on the confusing side. What I mean by that is Google property, when I see web, this tells me this is the normal Google search. But there are other Google properties that you can have a ranking for. You can rank under video search and image search and things of that nature. So if you see the Google property listed as image here, the query that you're ranking for is not on normal Google search. It's actually on Google image search. So this property can be really important. A lot of times you will see if you're ranking on Google image, you're going to have a large number of impressions compared to your clicks. And that's actually natural because you have to think about what the Google image search page is really like. You're seeing a lot more than just 10 images at the same time when you're viewing that. So naturally, the click-through rates per image will be lower on images compared with the web results. But it's important to know what you're actually ranking for to actually be able to make adjustments to it. If this twin size mattress ranking had been on an image, there wouldn't be any point to going to this page and changing the title and the description of the page, because it's not going to help me with an image search. So it's really important, in my opinion, to know exactly where this data is coming from, and this secondary dimension set to the Google property can give you that exact information that you need. Now the landing page under the search engine optimization section is also another important page. This is basically where people are ending up on your website after searching for something on Google. This could be web searches, it could be image searches. Again, this is kind of all getting combined into one set of data. But what should be important to you here is that you again get indicated which pages of your site are more popular than others. So I can see at a quick glance here that, again, my IKEA page is one of my more popular pages of my site. However, I think it's worth pointing out that Google isn't perfect with this data. If I look at this sizes page, for example, it shows me as having an overwhelming number of impressions. I'm getting almost 3 times as many impressions. This is referring to search engine impressions as the IKEA page is receiving. And it says I'm getting a lot of clicks. It says I'm getting 1,000 clicks to that page in a period of a month. However, if I look at my site content over here, it's telling me my sizes page is actually getting much, much less than that. It's only showing up as 82, whereas IKEA is saying that it's getting the proper amount of traffic based on here. Sorry about that. Now, when you're going through these different pages and this data, you should again be focusing on which ones are going to be the most beneficial for you to alter here. Because I could obviously go through and try to make enhancements to all of these different pages on my site, but these couple of pages that are listed up at the top are going to be the most beneficial for me to do that. I can see that my IKEA page, for example, already performs extremely well. My click-through rate over here indicates that I'm getting a lot of the traffic off of Google when people are actually seeing my listing, compared with some of my other pages that are more like 3 or 4%. These lower click-through ratio pages would be the pages where I would want to go and look into them a little bit more to figure out what can I do to boost those click-through rates up more? What could I do to increase my search engine rankings that are already present on those pages to make them a little bit better? A lot of times for this page, for example, my Pins on Pyrenees page, I'm getting a decent amount of impressions, but I'm not getting a lot of clicks on it. However, I can see over here as my average position that I'm not ranking on average on the first page for this search term. I'm actually down on around page 3. So this is important for me to know because this tells me the potential for these pages. Let me compare that to the one down below here, where I have an average position of 78. If I were to go and make content additions to these 2 pages right here, it's going to take a lot more effort to get this average ranking of 78 increased high enough to give me a lot of exposure, to get me onto the top 10 rankings, for example, than it would for this other page, because I'm a lot closer already with this page than I am with the one down below. So the average position, and this is something that also applies to the queries page here, seeing the average positions, whenever you're not ranking in the top 10 for something, but you're not far off from it either, simply going to the pages and adding more relational content to those pages can give you a little boost to bump you up in the search rankings. So this tells me where the most improvement could potentially come from with my existing rankings and the existing traffic that is out there.